Hello drone video fans, and welcome to another video of some interest for those who are into nature and natural things. This video will be on Wheeler Creek, a creek which has its mouth on the Lake Erie in Geneva, Ohio, just to the west of Geneva State Park, and goes south about 7 miles where it meets up with the Grand River, also in the area of Geneva or Harpersfield. It's kind of a windy day today, and we took off and we're heading now upstream here, and the wind was blowing and trying to blow us into these branches that you see on the trees along the on the right side of the picture. And I knew that as soon as I got to this bend in the creek, I was going to wind up going out of line of sight vision. So from this point here, I was strictly following what I was seeing on my little 8-inch monitor attached to my transmitter. I had scouted out this area previously to coming here to fly with my X380. And I knew that it was going to be a tight shoot, and that there was a bridge that you can see there in the distance, and on this side of that bridge there are power wires, probably in the order of 30 feet high, 10 meters high. So as I approached it, as you can see, I'm gaining a little bit in altitude now. There was probably enough room to go underneath that bridge, as I've done in some of my other bridge shoots, but not being entirely familiar with the bridge and the area, and also because I was not flying my my Phantom 3, which I have a whole lot more confidence, I decided discretion would be the better part of valor, and we'll just climb up and go over the tops of those power wires. You can see as we're getting closer to the bridge here, we're going to gain some more altitude so that we can cross over those wires. Probably didn't have to get quite as high as I did, but again, I didn't want to have any entanglement. So once we got to a safe height here, we're going to push forward and continue south. Now we're going south directly away from Lake Erie, and as I said, this Wheeler Creek winds through Lake County and Ashtabula County, and is a part of the watershed table that links up with the Grand River, which I have several videos of the Grand River from shooting other bridges and so on. But this particular creek, since it does have its mouth on the on Lake Erie, is known for fishing of there's trout, steelhead trout, and small game fish like crappie and smallmouth bass and such. And a little later on in the video, you'll see a fisherman that showed up just as I was finishing the shoot. We get to this point here, and you can see that the river turns to the left. It's actually a creek, not a river, but it turns to the left, and from my pre-scouting on Google Maps, I knew that it gets very narrow with a lot of trees and branches hanging over. So this was as far as I was willing to take it. I could have probably dropped it down to within maybe 3 feet of the surface and skirted underneath the branches, but after trying to shoot through all the shrubs and trees and everything like that, my video was breaking up pretty bad back at the transmitter. So again, we since this was the first shoot of the season, we decided to take it easy and just do a leisurely shoot here. Now we're heading back again towards Lake Erie, which you can see there in the distance. The water temperature on this day was right around 41 degrees. hasn't moved much from there in the time. You can see this bridge that we're going over. This is a bridge, and the road is Lake Road, obviously because it runs along the lake. And we're going now over the top of that area which we crossed. Which you see there in the center of the screen is not a crop circle, so don't be looking it up on Ancient Aliens or anything like that. It's just a natural feature alongside the creek. I'm not sure of how it was made, but it's there, and you can see in the distance, sort of on the right hand side of the picture, there's a small parking lot with a white car in there. That's my little Subaru. And all of these lakefront lots that you see off to the west, where we're looking west now, these are all private homes with huge yards. I'm just glad I don't have a house like that where I have to cut that much grass. If you look down there on the beach, you can see just see me there as we're getting closer to the lake, and you can see that there are some waves coming in. Again, it was a northeast wind, which always makes things a little bit chilly. Now we're heading east here because I wanted to follow the remnants of the stream out to where it actually went into Lake Erie. Usually it goes straight into Lake Erie, but because it wasn't running with full force, it sort of meandered to this point here and up to this fallen log and went into Lake Erie right there. We're raising the gimbal now, and what you see in the distance is a picture of the Geneva on the Lake State Park cedar cabins. These are cabins which were built a couple of years ago, replacing some older log cabins that they had there for people. But these are extremely well appointed. They have all the amenities: heating, air conditioning, fenced in deck area that includes a gas barbecue. They're really nicely appointed, and frequently during the summertime they're almost entirely booked. People usually book them for a week at a time. A lot of times more than one family will share one of the units, but there's 12 units, and that central building you see in the middle is a commissary where, if they forgot to bring some kind of a food item or need something, they're able to go there and pick that up. They have that there. And then across the street is the campground area for Geneva State Park, and there's also a commissary over there. Now we're looking back to the west. Perry Nuclear Power Plant you can see in the distance, or going along the beach, and we'll be dropping down in altitude. I did climb considerably here in order to be able to make sure that I didn't hit anything. And as you can see, we're dropping down now by the beach where I'm standing. You can see there's a guy standing behind me, and that's a fisherman. It seems like no matter which creek or stream or river I go to, there's usually always a fisherman there, and he wasn't doing too good, and I recommended that he go to Cowell Creek, which is about a mile east of where we're at right here, and try his luck there because the water was running much faster, and he eventually did actually pack up as I finished. We do a lot of videos like this, mostly scenic and natural shots, so if you enjoy that sort of thing, stop back. We always enjoy feedback, so if you have any, please leave it. Subscribe if you feel so inclined, and we thank you for watching. It's something I enjoy doing. I hope you do enjoy watching it as well. Thanks and goodbye.